If back pain is also your issue, then you are in the right place. And today I have Thomas with me, and it's best if Thomas himself tells his story.
So basically, when I drive for a long time, I get a burning sensation in the lower back area, in the sacral region. For around 45 minutes, that's when it really starts to pull, yes.
Okay.
I thought you were the expert on that, so maybe we can do exercises together.
He wants to try out what we do, and we thought I can explain to Thomas and you can follow along. So join in, yes. This is a video for you to participate and benefit from what I explained to Thomas. So tell me, Thomas, does anything hurt you right now? Do you have any position, for example, that would be typical if you overextend yourself? Go ahead, overextend yourself.
So yes, when I go back like this, I can already feel it here.
Do you notice it so the viewer can see at what angle it is? Yes. Let's remember that. Okay, let's get started. Participate in the exercises with us. We start right away standing up, and funnily enough, exactly with Thomas's test, yes. Because we want to stretch everything that has been shortened by sitting. Thomas, take your hands to the lower buttocks and now become aware of your belly button and make this pelvic adjustment. I will now show from the side this tilting of the pelvis and going into a hollow back. Now it is lordosis, now it is upright. Many people cannot control this well. You just have to try. I'll show the pelvis with my hands so that you tilt it like this. Many people bend their knees and then do something like that. That's not what is meant. The pelvis must practically straighten up. Without you going backwards, stay straight and now just lift the pelvis up. Now arch your back as if you were, stay straight. Go across to the camera so that it can be seen. Pull in your stomach without moving your upper body. Just suck in your stomach and now stick out your stomach. But not by pushing the pelvis forward, but by arching your lower back. Arch your lower back as if you were doing a duck stretch. Yes, that's it. Now slowly lower it. And now do the opposite of the hollow back. Make it straight by. Yes, that's slowly the movement. You can also practice it at home, apart from the video, also from time to time. Now, if you, Thomas, stand in such a way that you take both fingers at hip joint level as an axis here. And then you simply rotate the joint around this axis. Always rotate like this. Then you learn this activation. Lordosis out of the lordosis, lordosis out of the lordosis. So just as an idea, yes, now we take the hands back. Get out of the hollow back. Push the pubic bone forward, the groins forward, pull the navel in. And move further back and now look for this pain exactly where you just said, in this angle it starts to hurt.
Oh yes, here already.
Do you have it now?
Yes.
And now please also at home, you may notice it similarly, because that is typical for patients with back pain, yes. Stay like this and find this point and increase it now so far that you still have a good feeling. No jerky movements, not too intense, but always increase it a little further. Now, Thomas. Yes, do you notice how it gives way after a moment?
Yes, I notice it always hurts and then it gets a little less, then I can go a little further in.
Exactly that.
And then the pain kind of comes back a little.
Exactly that. And we do that again now. Well, 1 to 1.5 minutes, we have already done a little bit. Keep going further back. Keep going further back. Exactly. One must be careful not to fall over. Pay attention to balance. If you have difficulties with balance, you could hold on to the windowsill with one hand, hold on to the wall, walk with your hands against the wall. All of that is possible. We will just do it like this now. But if you notice that you are swaying, then it is advisable to support yourself for safety, and always a little further.
That's intense because you can actually feel how it gives way all the time.
Yes, exactly that. And you will notice this at home as well, because that is what we want to do longer. And this also shows that our experience that back pain has to do with being too short in the front has a relationship, because now it will be longer. And as it subsides, it is already the sign that this overall back pain could also decrease. So keep going. And suck in your stomach a little bit more, Thomas. I can see that you're letting your stomach stick out a bit. And sticking out your stomach means that you bend above the pelvis. And that is not at all what is intended right now. It is desired that the groins move forward and the abdomen moves backward and is not protruded. Therefore, always pull in the belly button. Now we can slowly come out again. Move a little freely. And now, Thomas, let's go to the mat. And you at home should join in right away. Now we go onto the mat. And that means that we walk on all fours. The hands slightly outward, 45 degrees. And then we go back with the knees, Thomas, as far as you can at home, so that you have enough space to let the pelvis sag. But now let's do the following. Now we're going to leave. I have a strong lordosis now. Look, now I am straightening out my lordosis. Can you see, right? Let's do the same movement again that we did earlier. Look, now there is a lordosis, right? Let the stomach hang down. Yes, let the stomach hang down. It's not that easy to target it so specifically. That is heavy.
We never do that in everyday life, do we?
No, you don't do that either because it is mostly unconscious. But the great thing is the wires are all in place. And the wires are, so to speak, the nerves that transmit the signals. And if the brain did not do that, it cannot control it. But this is done very quickly because the wires are already in place to get the corresponding program back in. So from the hollow back, and now push your lower back out. Opposite, yes. So, and it's best if you stay like this now. This is not easy to do. But as I said, if you do it for a while, it gets much better. By the way, that's called training. Yes? So, and now, while you are avoiding the excessive lordosis, slowly bring the pelvis further down and let it hang. Yes, let it hang nicely. And try not to arch your lower back while doing so. This means that you keep the belly button pulled in and want to bring the groins towards the floor. This is basically the same exercise as before, just with gravity now and not standing up.
Should I place the feet like you?
It is better to place the feet like me, because a muscle is stretched even more, which is also closely related to these back pains. In our experience, yes, now you are going deeper with the groins, and now your back pain could actually be triggered again.
Is that so? Yes, I am just arriving at the border.
Perfect. Same game as before. You let yourself sink deeper and deeper, and what is now causing the back pain is, in our experience, exactly the shortening that is blocking the front now. And we will now solve this by very gently always going a little further beyond these boundaries so that the tissue can give way. And this is done through deep breathing, Thomas. When you breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply and bring the groins down a little further while exhaling, it is easier if you connect it to the breathing, because exhaling always means relaxation in the body.
I think that's also a key word because I just noticed when you said to breathe calmly that I was a bit tense everywhere and that I had to relax first in order to be able to breathe calmly.
Yes. Good tip, also for you at home. Maybe you feel something similar to Thomas. So, and now we are going to stretch another part of the hip flexor, the short portion that protrudes into the pelvis, by doing the following, Thomas. Now you place your right knee to the right side and your right foot to the inside of the left knee. Yes. And now you notice now your left groin is dropping lower. And it pulls differently. Do you feel that?
Yes, that now pulls into the pelvis.
Do you notice at home as well? And also there we give ourselves a minute now, because from half a minute this effect is there. And 1 minute in the overall concept is already a pretty good time. And now focus on breathing again and let yourself hang down further and further. Take a deep breath. While exhaling, try to bring the left groin even closer to the floor. Thomas has placed his left foot, including the toes, on the ground. Please check at home if you also do that, because as mentioned earlier, this increases the stretching of a specific muscle even further. And this will make your back freer. So as we understand it,
but it's also quite exhausting for the arms when you do that.
Yes. And that's why we also say, if the arms are not used to it, that's also a workout. This is a stabilization training for the shoulder girdle and arms. And if you can't stand it, if it gets too intense, if it goes beyond this degree of tolerability, you would now lay your forearms on the couch or on a chair or on something. Then it would help you a lot. So now we slowly return to the straight position with the right leg and once again extend the left leg out. Because we have two hip flexors, one on the left, one on the right. And now we take more the right kidney. And now again pay attention to relaxation so that you can let yourself hang nicely. And you notice the stretching that is now more on the right.
It is pulling more on my side now than it was on the other side earlier.
That is exciting because it means that Thomas has an imbalance in his muscles. Most people have that. Also check at home to see if you notice the same. This would now mean that the side Thomas is talking about is tighter, so he has to practice more intensively and a little more often on that side than the other, so that it becomes balanced again. Breathe nicely and lower down. And focus again on the breathing. Always give in while exhaling, because giving in, as Thomas says, is also an effect that you can consciously support because the body doesn't initially perceive it on its own. This is all a learning effect. Try to come a little further down with the rib cage with each exhale. You really have to concentrate on that, I think.
I think that doing it on the side like that, it might eventually be like driving a car, when you can control every muscle so well, but just focusing on the breathing alone, constantly giving in, not deviating from the form, etc. That's already something you have to concentrate on.
But as you say, Thomas, that will eventually be automated. When you do the exercises for a long period of time, it becomes more and more automatic. But even in that case, it is good to consciously remind oneself from time to time, because errors can also creep in automatically. And every now and then consciously feel in, are my shoulders pulled down as low as possible? Are the arms stretched? Is my left knee really loose so that it gives way easily and doesn't lock up? Does my right groin sink properly? Is my right foot raised? That's already quite a lot, which becomes easier with practice. When you have done it, 5 to 10 times, it will already be much easier. The learning curve is very, very steep, and now slowly come out again. Now let's briefly go into the counter movement. That means sit on your heels and lower your torso. Just a quick counter movement.
That pulls now. That pulls in the back.
Do you want to know why?
With pleasure.
Yes, because when we let ourselves hang down, it became very long in the front, but very short in the back. So it is with the joints. One side long, the other side immediately short. And for a back that has tension at the back really appreciates it when it gets a bit of relief at the back, because ideally it wants to stay short. It is short all the time anyway, and that's why it's a bit awkward at first. But then it also dissolves immediately when the body realizes, aha, now it's being pulled. Now I have to give in. Now slide forward a bit with your knees, Thomas. because now we are going to extend what is too short in the front. And support yourself like this. Pull in your belly button. And now go back in such a way that you take the pelvis with you every millimeter while going back. So you have to focus on the fact that the navel goes back. And then you probably already noticed that it starts to pull in the thigh.
I was just about to say I notice it first in my legs and my thighs.
But the muscle in question, which significantly contributes to back pain, as well as hip and knee problems in our experience, is now really stretching when you pull your pelvis back. If not, then less. Therefore, retract the pelvis nicely and let yourself sink deeper and deeper down. But take the pelvis with you. There is already a clear pull in the thigh. It may even pull a little into the groin. That works.
Most of the time I notice it in the front of my thigh.
The knees must stay on the ground and must not move apart. That is important in this case. At some point you can then rest on your elbows, but you just have to train yourself to do it.
I think I am still far away.
You just have to take the pelvis with you. Many can already lie down, but then have a very round back. But then the function is gone. That is also a good exercise, but not one that in our experience significantly alleviates back pain. At some point you can also lie down nicely with your pelvis down. But that is not necessarily a prerequisite to be free of back pain. Then we'll just make another buffer, but not really relieving the pain. That's how we see it. Okay? That was probably about 2 minutes. Now we go out again. And Thomas, now we turn the whole thing around. We have, as you may have noticed, also made them longer at the front. Why? Because in our experience, the main reason for back pain is the front. But back there, the muscles also react. You will notice that right away. You will notice it right away because you just said, oh, this will be difficult now. Please go into the position. So, and now try to slowly crawl forward more and more. And then it can happen that you really feel it in the lower back. Oh my goodness.
So here it starts that I notice it.
It's not bad yet, but...
Oh yes. So here it already hurts.
And now try to especially release in the lower back, and with each exhale, pull yourself a little further forward. This is quite a task for people who have back pain to regain mobility. Because due to the constant tension at the front, our explanation for this phenomenon is that the back fascia, the lumbar fascia, which is what it's called, keeps getting thicker. And a thick fascia is, of course, much less yielding than a thin fascia. Just as a thick rubber band has more resistance than a thin rubber band. You can see this as an example. And then you keep breathing in deeper and deeper. But you stay, Thomas, in the just about tolerable range. Okay? Now completely focused, always go a little further in with each exhale. And if you notice that you could use a little more distance between your feet and your torso, then simply walk back on your buttocks a little. And then you notice, aha, now it pulls more, even though I don't have to pull so far forward because the distance is greater.
Do you know what I like best about the exercises? That you do them for so long and you're sort of live experiencing how it gets better. That you can just keep pulling yourself further into the stretch. When you make it so short or so bouncy, some bounce rather, then you don't even notice that. But here you are really close to the action.
Yes, that's a good point because I'm too blind to see it myself. That is far too normal for me to even notice. But it's true because you feel how it gives way. I always caution against seesaws a little bit because our perception is just different when seesawing, and as we know from physiology, the muscle spindles become active when seesawing. They think, oh, what's going on? And they contract a little. This is known from sports science, and we share this opinion and notice it by the fact that this rocking can make it a bit less yielding immediately because then movement comes in. And for us, the basic law is to move slowly, move consciously, and stay within tolerance so that it is just bearable in order to always be on the safe side. Now we slowly go out again, Thomas. And now let's go up, preferably to the rear mat area so that the camera can fully capture us. And now we simply walk back and forth. And now while running, the following happens. The hip flexor has to give way every time the foot is brought back. And therefore, the more you now, whenever the right foot goes back, the right groin must stay in front. And when the left foot goes back, the left hip must stay forward. And thus, everything becomes long again because as we've made the back long, the front has become shorter again. Now move a little, move a little. Once backwards, once forwards. Not quite as fast, but now let's balance things out a bit more. And now come onto the mat and feel inside and go back. And go back properly and tell me when it starts to pull.
I just wanted to say I've been exploring a bit where it hurts. So a little bit, but not like before.
Then we go down so far that it pulls like before. Do you notice how much more that is? Yes. One cannot say for sure now, but that is already the sign that it has become longer in the front. And in general, based on our experience, we can already say that you are further away from back pain. When Thomas sits down in the car now, are you going to drive home for 45 minutes?
Yes, going fast.
Fast? Then please report how it is today, because I would tend to say that it probably starts in the car only later, maybe after an hour and a half. But of course that is a bit vague, a bit of speculation. But you've noticed the stronger angle backward, and in our belief, that's exactly what alleviates your back pain. Thomas, thank you for being there, and I hope it has brought you something. Write a comment, please. It interests us, maybe we should do something like this more often. If you click down here, you can watch even more videos with other exercises, also on other topics. Goodbye.